The first light of dawn painted the sky in hues of amber and gold, but the village of Kalu was drenched in shadows. Sefu stood at the edge of the great baobab tree, her pale skin glowing faintly under the retreating moon. The spirits had spoken. War was coming. She wrapped her ceremonial robe tighter around her, the intricate symbols embroidered into the fabric shimmering with an eerie light. The cool morning breeze whispered the words of the ancestors into her ears. Death had knocked on the doors of Kalu, and now vengeance was at its heels. With slow, deliberate steps, Sefu made her way toward the village square. A fire had been lit in the center, the orange flames reflecting in the fearful eyes of the villagers who had gathered in silence. They had been waiting for her, waiting for their Shamanka to speak. She raised her staff, the serpent carved into its wood gleaming in the dim light. The village held its breath. "A life has been taken," she announced, her voice both gentle and commanding. "And now the spirits demand justice." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, restless and afraid. Old Chief Abari, his wrinkled face heavy with worry, stepped forward. His golden headpiece, a symbol of his authority, glowed in the firelight. "What must we do, Sefu?" Sefu closed her eyes, listening to the whispers of the unseen. Then she spoke the truth that no one wanted to hear. Kalu must prepare for war. It had all started with love, or rather forbidden love. Dambi, a young warrior of Kalu, had fallen for Mina, a beauty from the neighboring village of Kamala. She was known for her kind heart, her gracious steps, and the smile that could melt even the coldest soul. But love between Kalu and Kamala was a taboo, an unbreakable law that had existed for generations. Dambi had been betrothed to Rosa, a woman from his own village, but he did not love her. He had never wanted the marriage. His heart belonged to Mina. So he met her in secret. Every night, deep within the ancient forest, they whispered their love beneath the moonlit canopy. They held hands under the sacred baobab, their promises hidden between the rustling leaves. But Rosa had been watching. One night, she followed Dambi and found him wrapped in Mina's embrace. Under the moon, the sight of their love burned into her chest like fire, rage, jealousy, betrayal. The next afternoon, when Mina went to the river alone, Rosa followed. The blade was quick, the scream even quicker. By the time the villagers found Mina, she was lying in a pool of her own blood, her beautiful eyes staring lifelessly at the sky. The village of Kamala erupted in sorrow and rage. "War!" they cried. "We will not let Mina's blood go unavenged." Sefu had seen it all in her visions. She had felt Mina's spirit whispering in the wind, crying out for justice. The gods had been stirred, and now a price must be paid. As the villagers gathered around the sacred shrine, Sefu prepared for the ritual. The great ceremonial drum was struck, its deep reverberations shaking the earth beneath their feet. She lifted her hands to the heavens, calling upon the spirits. Her voice echoed through the valley, weaving between the trees, reaching into the unseen world. "O great spirits of the ancestors, hear us. The village of Kalu seeks your mercy." The fire crackled wildly. The wind howled. The air turned thick with power. The spirits had answered. Their demand was clear. Blood must answer to blood. Rosa must pay the price. A heavy silence fell upon the crowd. Rosa's mother collapsed to the ground, wailing. Her father clenched his fists, his face contorted with grief. But the law of the spirits was absolute. "No," Rosa screamed. "Please, have mercy." But mercy had already left Kalu the moment Mina's blood was spilled. That night, Rosa was banished to the sacred forest, where the spirits roamed free. No one dared to enter. No one ever returned. She walked into the darkness alone. The villagers watched in silence as her figure faded into the trees, swallowed by the unknown. With Rosa's sacrifice, the spirits were appeased. The village of Kamala, though still grieving, accepted the justice that had been done. The warriors who had sharpened their spears and prepared their bows lowered their weapons. The war never came. Sefu stood at the edge of the forest, watching the last flickers of the ceremonial fire die into embers. The night was still, but the spirits were at peace. She turned away, knowing that tomorrow the village would move on. But deep within the sacred forest, where the trees whispered secrets and shadows took shape, a single scream rang out in the night. And then, silence. Blood spills blood. Jealousy destroys. And murder is never without a price.
We'd like to hear from you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories. We post once a week. See you next time.